and welcome to this episode of What You Think, where we are talking about the latest Lucasfilm, The Bad Batch. As always, you're joined by Momo, Jang, and Cheong, and we're here to talk about Star Wars The Bad Batch. We are all huge Star Wars fans, and let's crack on. The first question I have for everyone is let's just get some general thoughts about the show, okay? And then maybe you could throw me what your favorite aspect the show is. So I'm gonna pass it to Jang first. What are your general thoughts on the show, the whole season, and your favorite aspect?
Um, to be honest, it really feels like it's going off the Clone Wars. Like it's really just it's just a spin-off of the Clone Wars, and it's just a continuation of the Clone Wars, which I am a Clone Wars fan, so I like that. But in terms of it being on its own, let's just say you've never watched the Clone Wars, it's gonna be a really not that interesting series if you haven't seen the Clone Wars. So I love the clones. I always have loved the clones. Momo knows how much I talk about the clones. So yeah, so I really like um this Bad Batch, and yeah.
So your favorite aspect is the clones. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
How about you, Cheong?
For me, I think it's quite similar to what Jang said. It's quite, it's like a continuation of the Clone Wars because when Clone Wars ended, and it was like what's the episode called?
Ah, is it
Revenge of
season
the
five?
Sith? No. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. Revenge of the Sith. So it's like after that, then they have like continuations of it. So it feels like a direct continuation from there. The first episode was really nice because it introduces like what's going on beyond the movies that we see on the big screen. So that whoever doesn't watch Clone Wars or doesn't watch like the Star Wars movies, especially the prequels, might not be interested in this kind of stuff. So I guess that's one bad thing, as in it doesn't really introduce new audiences into it. But for us who are already, really into the existing Star Wars universe, my goodness, this is really great.
I don't know. I think I haven't heard from anyone who hasn't started with, the Clone Wars or the movies, but I think you can get into the show, but you're probably gonna miss out on all the Easter eggs. But I think focusing on this batch, they introduces who they are in the beginning. I think for a lot of kids, perhaps, there's nothing else to watch on Disney Plus, so the parents are like, oh look, Star Wars, okay, have fun, go watch. So I think like a lot of kids, like we grew up with the Clone Wars. Some kids grew up with Rebels. I think new kids will find this show, but I also think the show is quite dark for their first foray into Star Wars. So probably not for five and under, but yeah, for me, I would say general thoughts of the show. I think it's all right. I think it got off to a really strong start, but problem with a lot of these shows is I guess they really have to we're blessed with like the Mandalorian and the Marvel shows that I feel are really tight, right? So there's not many filler episodes, I guess you could say that. But over here, every time when we're gonna go into least favorite episodes later, least favorite aspects, for me is anytime they have to meet with Sid. I just find her incredibly annoying. I don't know why they're still in debt after like 10 episodes, but yeah, whatever. But for me, my favorite aspect of the show is definitely everything related to the Clone Wars, but also the animation. It looks incredibly stunning, very crispy, just going off season seven. And yeah, because the art style in Rebels, I was not a huge fan of. It's very cartoony. I know it's supposed to take inspiration from the old art, but there's a reason it's old art, right? There's a reason they didn't use that concept art. But yeah, there's something so cinematic about this show that you just can't help but be in awe of it. So yeah, those I think generally we're all on the same boat. Like it's pretty good, but definitely no Clone Wars season seven or the latest episodes. But I mean, as we know, there's gonna be a season two. So yeah, I just want to get everyone's favorite episode or favorite arc. Like uh, perhaps the beginning, the opener, or perhaps something on Ryloth, or the season finale, which came in two parts. So I'm going to start off with you, Cheong. What was your favorite episode?
My favorite episode would be the first episode. Number one, it was 1 hour long, and it was 1 hour long of like what is it, action packed, but there was a lot of information to process because we just came in fresh from like the Clone Wars. So and it gave a lot of context, like them trying to, there's like the politics within what's that called?
I mean,
Camino. Yeah, the politics within Camino, like the prime minister, the relationship between like Grand Moff Tarkin and them, and how they are plotting to like override the clones and replace them with human recruits. So that's a very interesting aspect. And with the whole chip thing where we found out that, oh, like Crosshair, they can amp up the things so that they can be more obedient and listen to Order 66 more. So that was a really nice concept that they introduced. And of course, when there was like a divide between the Bad Batch where they like separated Crosshair from the others, so that was really nice. So the first episode really, yeah, it was the hook, right? It was a very strong hook that kept me, into the series.
and then they went on later to fight a dragon in the next episode. Then it's like, no, but I wholeheartedly agree with you. That was I remember an incredibly strong opening, and I did not expect them to break up the Bad Batch so early, have Crosshair turn to a villain, and I'm gonna jump ahead of myself a bit, but when we're gonna talk about favorite characters later, I would say that Crosshair is my one of the best antagonists I think in Star Wars that we have, and characters. Number one, I just love his voice. Hello. I can't do it. Usually, how does it go? Like, yes, Hunter, you suck. Yes, your leadership
Yeah, he just
failed
sounds
us.
dead inside. He just sounds
Yes,
very
he's such
dead.
a charismatic villain. I just every time he shows up, even in the later episodes when he shows up for like 5 minutes, I shall hunt them. They are very obvious. I'm like, yay, Crosshair. He's so just a joy to watch. But yeah, that's definitely a highlight for me. I really did like the episode where we meet Cad Bane. I thought the intensity there was on point. Fighting with Fennec, just drawing in from Mandalorian and the Clone Wars, seeing Cad Bane again. Just oh yeah, the episode where they were trying to escape the Star Destroyer. I don't think I've ever seen people go up close to a Venator. Is that what they call those ships? Or I'm thinking of Darth Vader's ship. Let's just call them the Republic cruisers, right? Oh yeah, when they went into the Venator and you had Crosshair trying to snipe them and the engine just blowing up, and then you ended the episode with Cat Bane. I think that 20 minutes or so just felt incredibly tight, and I was like, okay. And the Bad Batch had lost me a bit getting to the episode. I was like, all right, we're back on track finally, yes. Yeah, so those were some highlights for me, and of course the episode where we meet Hera on Ryloth, that two-parter, just seeing everything tie into Rebels and Clone Wars, it just reminds you the largeness of the galaxy far, far away. But yeah, how about you, Jen? What was your favorite episode?
This is gonna be a bit cheesy, but I love the Rex episode, the episode when Rex came back.
Oh,
I think it's called Battle Scars or something like that. But oh, because I love Rex. Rex is my favorite guy. He's he's my favorite character from the Clone Wars. And when he was back, I was like, hey, he's back. And like that whole episode, they were trying to get the chip out of all their
all the
heads.
gang,
And
yeah.
yeah, and Wrecker, like they've been teasing like for the last few
I
episodes
got a
leading up.
headache.
Yeah, he's just like, my head hurts. And then I'm like, yeah, it keeps hurting, guys, go and take it out lah. And then Rex finally is like, take it out. Then it's like, good. So yeah, and then we saw Rex go, like they were like at the end, he was just like, what is that, call me if you ever need me. I was just like, oh, my guy, my boy. But that one I think is kind of biased because of how much I like Rex. So if I the second episode that I like the most is probably same as Cheong. The first episode was 1 hour long, set out everything nicely, very strong, and the Bad Batch was all together. And yeah, it was just a very, very strong opening. Yeah.
Yeah, but what we talk a lot about the opening or the first 1 hour long episode. What did you guys think of the finale then? Because for me, the only thing that went through my head, I was like, is this just Dunkirk or something?
Yeah, for
Everything
me, I
just
was really
sinking.
sad. I was so sad when they were walking past all the chambers where they have like all the clones, like where they are like being made, and it was all sinking. I was like, oh, yo, because like some of the best troopers in the whole galaxy came off the line, all the sacrifices in Clone Wars. And then like that's why I really hate the Imperial troopers, because they all are useless. They can't shoot, they can't walk, nothing. They're useless. So like when Tipoca City was sinking, it was really like Oh, that's no more clones. So the whole yeah, so for that whole episode, I was just really sad. I don't know why. Just watching
Yeah.
it sink and sink and sink. I was like, no.
But did anyone even feel any stakes? For me, I didn't. I was like, oh, I know season two's coming, so no one's dying, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I was like, is anyone gonna show up? Ooh, are we gonna get any cameos? But alas, we did not.
Mm.
But I
I
did
was
like the way they.
wondering what Crosshair, what would happen to Crosshair after that once he's left on the platform. So yeah, like where does he go after that?
No one comes after him. He's just sitting there. Oh no,
He just sits there and died. He
The
just starves to death.
empire, the empire left me. Oh no, I should have gone with my
Yeah.
brothers and my sister. Ooey. I mean, I could see him as like a bounty hunter of sorts, right? But how is he gonna get off that platform? And correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the first time we see Camino fully bathed in sunlight? Because it's always very dark, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh.
I think
Oh, is it
even
really
in,
the first
I
time?
think I'm thinking of in season 3 of the Clone Wars when they save Camino, and then
Oh,
for
oh
the
yeah,
Empire to just go
at the
blow
end
it
of
up.
the episode, remember when Rex and
Ah,
Cody promote Fives and
you all
Echo
not bad,
to
huh?
ARC
Ah,
Troopers?
yeah.
Yeah, that yeah, that was Sun. That was Sun. I remember
But it
that was
wasn't
Sun.
like a huge, what is it? It wasn't bright. So I'm just thinking the Camino ones caused a lot of pollution. I don't know. There was something wrong there, but yeah. But we talked about like really good episodes with the first one. All right, episodes with the finale. But what episodes stuck out to you guys like a sore thumb? Something that was like, what are we doing here? Can we skip? This is filler. How I'm gonna pass it to Cheong first.
Um, most of the Sid ones, I okay lah. It's very important to like set the character dynamics among them, and I really, like I appreciate the character formation in those filler episodes. But other than that, mm, it's decent. Like there was one where they were trying to recover the mini Rancor. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that was like. The one that they were retrieving the spices from, like, because Sid had like some enemies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was more okay. Yeah, but the Rancor one just seems like pure filler. So it's like it's there. So, but it's good lah. There's some character development in it.
And then when they dropped the spices, I was like, oh god. It reminded me of the worst Clone Wars episode. It's the one where, and actually, I'll say one nice thing about the Bad Batch. They made the Martez sisters, Trace and Rafa, a bit more
Oh.
tolerable, if anything, because they were that arc that they had in the Clone Wars was just horrible. When you're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
really stupid decisions by characters. Oh, we don't want to give the spice. No, we should. Oh, I just dropped a lot
Just
of.
eject easy.
We could have made a lot of money, but no. Or we could have somehow come to some kind of, use it to help people, but no, just waste it in the depths of space. Well done, Trace. Well done. But I'm surprised how much I didn't hate the episode. When as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh no, these people. But then I was like, okay, you got some skills again. But yeah, I would say anything to do with Sid because I just found her quite annoying because she just kept on doing the same thing over and over again. Like, oh, give me debts, pay your debts, pay your debts, pay your debts. But yeah, how about you, Jen? What stood out to you as the worst episodes of Star Wars: The Bad Batch?
It's exactly the same as Cheong with that Rancor one. What the hell was going on there? It was just like, okay, just let's watch. That's just okay. I was just sitting there, just like, I started doing like other things while watching the episode because I was just like, yeah, they're just gonna, yeah, and then they're gonna chase it, and then yeah.
Yeah, because it's inconsequential. There's like nothing, like even if they do this or don't do this, the ending will still be the same. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It literally
yeah,
doesn't matter. So I'm there like, okay, whatever. And yeah, the what is that? The Trace and Rafa one. I was expecting to hate that one too, but yeah, lucky they weren't as annoying as last time. So yeah, actually yeah, I'm just the same as you guys for this one.
Wow, are we all clones or something? Because all the answers seem really similar. What batch are we? Clone batch 98. I have no idea. But yeah, I wanna. So we talked about the least favorite. episodes. How about our favorite characters? We were introduced to a lot of them. I'm gonna start us off. Three characters really stood out to me. The first one was Crosshair, as I mentioned previously. I just love his voice. Most people look down when someone falls. I was like, just so deliciously evil, and especially at the end, they just gave him more character development than just being a mustache twirling villain. Like, hey, I'm following the empire. Yeah, you get to see his point of view, and most of all, surprisingly, a very sympathetic character, right? Compared to except for Hunter, a lot of them and Echo, a lot of them are very one-dimensional. Like you have Wrecker just like, oh yeah, eat popcorn, kill people, let's blow stuff up, and then you have Tech, who's just first he was in what is it? Fun to watch, and then he just became really annoying. He's like, yes, I'm very smart, you all are dumb. But yes, and then I also love Rampart because it's very refreshing to see an Imperial officer who's actually smart, who's not, especially when we get into Star Wars Rebels. I don't think Jang has watched Star Wars Rebels, but Cheong has. Do you remember the episode where I think was it Slavian or just one idiot decided to go and ram the Star Destroyer and just fall for the trap of the rebels,
Yes,
and then
yes.
everyone was like, "What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?" It's just almost every time you just see the rebels thwarting the empire at every turn. There's not one moment besides Thrawn who can actually fight them. So you're just seeing someone with a brain was very refreshing, especially at the end when he blew up Camino. And also, I really do like Omega as a character. I think she's very endearing. I'm obviously very fascinated to see how she fits into the larger Star Wars universe, whether she shows up in something like the Book of Boba Fett. Will she finally get some armor? But yeah, she kind of fits that spirit of Star Wars, right? She reminds me of Ahsoka Tano and Kid
Yes.
Anakin Skywalker, just very endearing characters who we, when we look back at this, you know how she was a kid and just kept on getting into trouble. We're
Yeah.
definitely gonna see her age up, probably in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's gonna make her all the more endearing. But yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Jane. Who was your favorite character? And you can't say Rex.
Yeah. Rex for the win. No, but no, but yeah, Crosshair and Hunter, those two like you say, Crosshair has brains, like it's so good. Like the line when he said, most people look down, not across. I was just like, oh my god, he's using his brain. Because like usually like there's no reason. He just like I sus you, you're really suspicious. But then like he actually has a real reason why he suspect. And like throughout that, when he's chasing the Bad Batch, like all his decisions are like really like they have no way out. And then it's just like he's thinking, he's using his brain. So I yeah, he's a really good villain. And Hunter, like I like how he's just trying to make the best decision for his squad the whole time. Like he's not really like he doesn't have any other, maybe no, he doesn't really have any other reason. He's just really like, these are my brothers, this is my squad, I need to make sure that they are safe. Yeah, so I really like that he was the whole time he's just trying to protect his batch and make sure that they're gonna do okay, no matter what happens to the rest of the universe. And just as long as my squad's good, it's all good. So I really like that he was like
So he's
that.
not
So
in the
yeah,
words
that
of
was my
Crosshair. So he's not a your failed leadership. You brought them here to die.
Yeah, but he's not like
So,
he's not annoying. Like there's like those characters that care too. This was the thing that I didn't really like Omega for. Like yeah, she's a kid, so that you need to give it to her lah. But like sometimes when they care too much about other stuff,
kasihan lah.
yeah, yeah, when they care about like what is that? Oh, we need to save these people. We need to save. Like, I like Hunter's just like, no, my squad's okay, so I don't care. Thank you. Like because it's annoying when
How
like,
about
oh,
when
I'll save you guys, and okay, let's save everyone. Like no, like saving everyone it's not gonna work.
we
So
taking a
like
bitch?
Yeah.
yeah, so like I like that he's not too not to say that he's cold, but he's not too blindly empathetic to people and just be like, let's help everyone. So like yeah. And then that was the thing that annoyed me a bit about Omega, because she's the one that's like, let's help everyone, and Hunter is there like, no. So yeah.
She,
Yeah.
she could float up to safety, but no, he had to save that droid.
Yeah.
AC, no.
Good thing Crosshair was there.
Oh
But
yeah,
how
if Crosshair wasn't there, GG.
Wrecker can't swim, but yeah, he just had to look super sus, right? With the gun, like, oh, I'm gonna aim it at Butter first. No,
Yeah.
no, it's a joke. He could have just gone straight to the boat, but no, for the I was like, okay, pause for dramatic effect. Then you had to feel bad for him when all his brothers had the gun aiming at him, but I was like, you kind of brought it on yourself, mate. Have to aim faster
Yeah,
to the
who asked you
sea.
a point? Go,
But
just
yeah,
point.
how about you, Chong? Are you gonna say Crosshairs your favorite as well?
Um, okay, I have two. The first one is Omega. Even though she's like, always getting herself into trouble, but I think that, yeah,
Uh-huh.
Momo brought up a very good point. It reminds me a lot of Ahsoka Tano. When you mentioned Ahsoka, then I'm like, hey, right. It's almost like her personality, reckless, trying to do good all the time. There's this time where Ahsoka was in the Clone Wars where Obi-Wan and Anakin were trying to tell her to leave. Then she's like, no, we're winning. And then when she like gets lifted up or gets brought back by the spaceships, then she saw that, oh, actually the droids actually surrounded them. So I think this moment will come to her in like season 2 for Bad Batch, hopefully. Otherwise, we'll just be, keep on getting the annoying always want to do good. But we can see like, I mean, I hope I can foresee the character arc for her ending up being someone like Ahsoka. The second one is actually who was the clone commander in Ryloth? What's
Hi,
his name?
Hauser, I think. Yeah.
Hauser, yeah. So that's
Ah,
like okay, he didn't have a lot of screen time, but that's like a very interesting perspective. Like they see like, oh, the Imperials and everything. Then we actually see some dissent among the Imperial ranks and especially the clones. So it's not like all of them like follow orders and stuff. So that's like a hint, like Rex and yeah, Rex was expected because we saw that he defected in Rebels, but there's actually more of these clones than we think. So there might be like a clone rebellion someplace down the line. So yeah, so that opens up a lot of possibilities for me. Would have loved to see him hopefully alive in season 2. Yeah. So how's that Omega?
Yeah, Hauser was like a nice, what is it? He was in 2 episodes, I think. He was like a nice character. He was just like, oh, he was very, I'm gonna say the same word, but endearing because the way he looked after Hera, right? He was like, I can only help you so much. Uh, they're still there, right? The clones that we know and love from the Clone Wars, they're not all gone. They're not gonna go and fire down Kamino. So yeah, I agree with you. He was definitely a standout. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him in season 2, but that depends on how long they want to keep the show going, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, speaking of stuff they set up a lot, I mean, the Mandalorian season 2, we keep on seeing these. What is it? Oh, Snoke, cloning, blah blah blah, Grogu, Force count, and then over here we're seeing, oh look, these giant jars, ooh, cloning facility, and then at the end when you have Nala say, we look very forward to your work, blah blah blah. So we obviously can hint that they're so adamant on trying to explain how Palpatine returned, more so than, somehow Palpatine returned, as well as the whole Snoke saga. So my question is, do you guys think this is even worth exploring? Or should they move forward and, expand the universe somewhere else rather than just try to fill in the gaps?
Mm, I think what's done is done. Like they've cloned Snoke, they've cloned Palpatine, and it's technically all the new canon right now. So I think it's more of like they have to explain it because otherwise,
Mhm.
how are they going to, I would love if they retcon more like stuff.
No, no, no.
Yeah, but
What are you retconning? What did you have in mind?
um Snoke could have been explored more. Yeah, Snoke was a waste because he's shown to be this Palpatine-like figure. Then we see, oh, it's just a clone, and it's actually a making of Palpatine. So it's like, yeah, Snoke could have been interesting, a lot of potential there. So instead of maybe the final villain being Palpatine in the last episode, maybe it could have been Snoke. And then we found out that, oh, that's actually Snoke's what's that called, like force projection or something. So
I would say that Snoke was an interesting villain until episode 9 when they just showed the jar of Snokes and you're like, I think my favorite line I think of the opening is that, when Kylo goes, I kill Snoke, I'll kill you. And then Palpatine goes like, oh, I made Snoke. And then you're thinking, ooh, what is this? You're like, ooh, metaphorically, did he train Snoke? Very interesting. No, he literally
Just a jar.
Yeah.
made a bunch of Snokes. But yeah, let's not go into the Rise of Skywalker too much because I do.
No,
So
it's
yeah,
like I made
basically,
Snokes with the S, Snokes. So there's multiple Snokes. We had a lot of Snokes.
so but yeah, Jang, is this something you're interested in exploring? Or just like whatever, like okay, something to make episode 7, 8, 9 more palatable, or yeah.
Uh, to be honest, I don't really care. Like, the main thing, like no, because like since they're going off the Clone Wars, I really want to see what happened to the clones. Like because what is that? All we got was that they're training the Imperials, but clearly they didn't do a good job. But yeah, so I just want to see like a scene of like them like trying to train the Imperials and they all just like they're just like shoot straight and then they're just like so like yeah, that would be something nice, or maybe like say what happened to Cody. I really want to know what happened to Commander Cody, because like I was trying to find out like what happened to him because I really want to know, and they said like he got tired of training them and he just killed himself or something. But like I want them to actually say like, oh, what happened to what happened to the clones, like because there's still a lot of clones out there. Like what did they just like, nah, let's just get rid of, what did they execute them, did they what happened to them? So I really want them to expand about like what happened to all the clones, and especially like the main ones like Cody and I think Ayla
Who else?
Ayla Sakura's clone. What's her
Fox?
name
No.
already? Commander
Fox
Bly,
is
is it?
Kun, right? Ah, okay.
Yeah, Bly. Yeah, because Bly he did Order 66 and he killed Ayla
Ah,
Sakura. So like, yeah, what happened to him? I want to know what happened to the clones. So
Now
that's
that you
the main
mention,
thing that I really want to know about
you've
in season 2.
we've never actually seen what Order 66 does to a clone. Not I mean just killing any
Hmm.
random Jedi, but I mean actually killing their best friend, right? In the case of like you said, Ayla Secura or Cody shooting down Obi-Wan. Yeah, that I think is definitely something worth exploring. And I guess that means we want to move away from all the Snoke cloning, but it seems like yeah, so my next question is a lot of people say that the Clone Wars really benefited. I mean, sorry, the prequels benefited from the Clone Wars, right? Because you managed to really hone in on the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, uh, Palpatine moving stuff behind the scenes. So I'm just wondering generally, do you guys think that the prequels benefited from the Clone Wars? Dave Filoni's job this whole time was, to fill in the blanks for episodes 2 and 3, and now his job is to fill in the blanks for episodes 6 and 7. He's helping out J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson. But yeah, I'm gonna go off first because I would say that uh yeah, because I'm thinking in particular of Anakin. Because if you just go off episode 2 and 3, he could have used more. The turn doesn't feel as real, right? Like it's very abrupt, especially in episode 3. Like henceforth you shall be known as Darth Vader. But my favorite aspect of the Clone Wars has always been just seeing Anakin slowly turn to the dark side. Every time you get some Darth Vader imagery, I go like, "Oh yeah, Darth Vader!" You see? I mean, as a kid who probably doesn't what is it? Probably wouldn't pick up on the subtle things when you had episode 3 when they went to Mortis and you see a giant Darth Vader shadow behind him. You're like, "Oh yes, that's a Darth Vader."
mm.
So yeah, for me, I would say that the prequels. I don't think I would have enjoyed the prequels as much or looked as fondly with it if I didn't grow up with the Clone Wars at the same time to give me that supplementary material. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I guess for the I guess it did kind of help. It did, like, for in terms of like what you say for Anakin's story. Now it kind of makes more sense. But they didn't have a lot of the clones like Rex and all of them. Rex again. But like he wasn't in Revenge of the Sith and everything. So like it really felt like its own, like Clone Wars was kind of its own story. Like I didn't, when I was watching it when I was younger, I didn't really, I know they're connected, but like I to me the Clone Wars was its own thing, and like I just love the story with Ahsoka, because even Ahsoka isn't in Revenge of the Sith. So like I was like, oh, we got Rex, we got Ahsoka, and then yeah, and all the things that are happening. So it was really its own thing for me. It
Isolated.
didn't really help with I guess for yeah, the only thing the main thing it did was Anakin's arc, but other than that, not really connected for me. It didn't really help.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Clone Wars the main character is probably Anakin, and Ahsoka, the others all just like was there to give like more background context to make it more lively. But it was certainly very interesting that they developed Anakin's downfall to the dark side even more. Like you can tell when like there's my favorite moment of the Clone Wars probably when Ahsoka left like the Jedi temple, the fields. Yeah, so that was like a very big turning point. Then they decided to explore this in the Rebels again when like Ahsoka dealt with Darth Vader. So yeah, definitely boosted my enjoyment a lot. But for people, I get it who don't have this background context and all those, they might find it like, so
But yeah, I guess that's really it seems like the job of Dave Filoni, right? And that's why I think I love the Clone Wars and its place in the Skywalker saga. I guess more so than I think of Episode 9. I guess I don't like Episode 9, but that's the topic for another time. Because I feel that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they still have something central to do with the story of Anakin Skywalker, right? I mean, that's all that George Lucas goes on about. Star Wars episodes 1 to 3 is about, the downfall, and then 4 and 6 redemption, because it really is Anakin's story. So that's why 7, 8, and 9, as much as I do love 7 and 8 in particular, I guess you could see it being slightly disconnected. But in my head canon, I just go off and say, oh, it's about the legacy of these characters, right? But maybe in another, maybe we need to start a release the Snyder Cut movement and get release the George Lucas script outlines. I would
Yeah,
read
but
those, but mhm.
yeah, but for the Clone Wars and this Bad Batch, to me, it's kind of like a soldier's story, which is kind of nice. It's kind of it's away from the whole Anakin. So like
Anakin. Sound like
yeah.
Obi-Wan. Anakin.
No, that's why every time you get excited when they mention Darth Vader, but for me I'm just like, oh yeah, they're gonna play the Darth Vader theme song, and then like every time he's just there like
Dun, dun.
angry. No, that's why the episodes I enjoyed the most are all the clone episodes. Like you guys know the Domino Squad from Clone Wars. It's to me
Domino
that's
is
it's
the five arc, the one
yeah, yeah, the
the
five
training
troopers.
one
It
arc
was like
troopers.
heavy Echo.
99. Ah,
Yeah,
yes, my
yeah,
boy.
all of them. But no, but that story is so sad. Like because it was a squad. There were about five of them together. Then like three of them died on that station. You
The
know, the
move.
one where Heavy sacrificed himself.
ah
Then you
yes.
had Echo and Fives, which got all the way up to Arc Trooper, which was amazing. And then Echo died. When Echo died, I was so sad because I was like, oh, oh, there's only one guy left from the Domino Squad, and then Fives died from after he almost figured out the whole thing, which I know that he won't, it won't work, but I was just like, come on. I was really rooting for him. I was like, you can just tell somebody. So like yeah, and when Fives died, it was yeah, and then they brought Echo back, and he joined the Domino the not the Bad Batch. So because of that, yeah, there's still one guy left from the original Domino Squad, and that really like I feel for soldiers because like you're with them, you're a squad for like maybe like 10 years or something. I don't know how long they take to go, about 10, 10, 12 years, something like that they go. And then like most of them die in the so fast, and then there's only two, and then one, and then oh yeah. So that was the main thing about the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch, which I feel like that brotherhood and the soldiers like journey is, yeah, that story is really more appealing to me.
So
So
in the
yeah,
words of Dominic Toretto, it's about family.
family.
a, a family brotherhood. But so I would take it your favorite arc would be the Domino Squad, right? Because that just encapsulates everything about the Clone Wars.
I
What do you
also
think?
like the no, I just as
Pong
long
Clan?
as yeah, the Pong Krell, that was really good. I not like every time the just as long as there's clones, I'm very happy. Like no, when they fight, like I don't know why I feel so sad. Like when Hard Case died, you guys remember Hard Case? He sacrificed
Which one is
himself.
that?
You dick. But no, he sacrificed himself. Like no, because what was the name of the Shadow World, the one with the Krell and all of them
Umbura?
there? Yeah,
Oh,
Ambura.
okay. He
Yeah,
did the
Umbara.
okay, yes.
Yeah, live to fight another day, boys. And then he just, I was like, oh. So every time clones die, I just feel very sad. I know, like, you guys are all like, oh, Jedi, Anakin, as long as they're
He
okay.
force
But,
choked someone. I'm like, oh, David, yeah.
oh, Darth Vader, Darth Vader. And then, like, no, remember the slave episode in the Clone Wars? Remember,
Uh-huh.
he pulled Anakin pulled the
Uh-huh.
hologram thing from Cody and crushed it. And, yeah,
Uh-huh.
so then, yeah, of course, you'll be very happy there. But
Darth
then,
Vader, yeah.
no, but then the ones that get me is the one where like I forgot which episode it was, but it was the Red Troopers. I think it's Commander Thorn or Commander Fox, one of the red ones. But then it was a final stand, and he was just there with the machine gun. It's like for the Republic, and then they just killed him. I was like, oh, these troopers are so good. They were oh, do you remember Captain Kili and Amagundi? The two of them, they
Oh,
fought or Ryloth. Yeah, it's like let's make the end memorable. Like yeah, like most people will feel for Amagundi, but
Amagundi.
I felt for I felt for Captain Keely. I was like, oh my god, they're fine. Yeah, so the clones. Yeah, the clones. I love the clones.
I can't tell. But so how about you, Chong? What was your favorite aspect of the Clone Wars? Like favorite episode or favorite arc?
Um, yeah, exploring the soldiers thing was very interesting. That was actually my favorite part of Rogue One because it doesn't have like the Jedi stuff. It's mostly about the perspective of like a rebel commando. But of course, it's the rebels, it's the good guys. So, of course, the Darth Vader at the back was like a the whole lightsabers. I've never seen Darth Vader so cool before. But yeah, for me, the Clone Wars, it still has to be Ahsoka's arc. Yeah, it's like it evolved from the first time I actually watched the Clone Wars was like well, was it the movie where they were on Christoph Sis?
2008. I had my
Yeah.
ticket somewhere, but like it's all faded out.
Oh, and that was my first exposure to the Clone Wars. Then, I didn't know about the series at the time, so then I started watching after that. I'm like, oh hey, then there was like a whole development. Then I was like, wow, really amazed at Ahsoka. So yeah, Ahsoka's story is my favorite. Then when Ahsoka shows up in the Mandalorian, it's like wow. And then
Mm.
it's like, who is Grand Admiral Thrawn? Then that's like, where's your where's your Master Grand Admiral Thrawn? So that's like another wow for me. Like everything connects. Yeah.
Was that your
So
favorite episode of The Mandalorian season two? The pivot.
um.
For me, I would say yeah, that
I
was my favorite.
actually feel that's like a bit of a filler. Like it didn't really do anything.
Oh,
Yeah, because
okay.
it just introduces a wider theme. Like there's Ahsoka and Thrawn is actually the big baddie at that time. But if we cut off those episodes, we find out that it really doesn't do anything. It just, I mean, Ahsoka did ask them to go to um, like the stone place where he
Sending
managed to
him to
summon
his
Luke
place, yeah.
Skywalker. Yeah. So yeah, but Ahsoka's arc was my favorite uh, part of the Clone Wars.
Obviously, without saying, it goes without saying that probably everything to do with Anakin and just everything you can see him turning to the dark side was my favorite. But if I were to pick something else, I'd say I really like the politics in the Clone Wars. When Padme is going around, and then I remember in season six, didn't they start dealing with like the stock market or something when you had that Clovis guy?
Ah,
I think so. There was some very mature stuff in the Clone Wars when it dealt with trade routes, having to diplomacy and all that good stuff. And then I remember Palpatine, or should I say, reminds me of a very of politician in Malaysia, which I shall not say who. When he goes on, like one of his infamous last lines is like, "We shall keep the wheels of democracy turning," or something like that. When one of his the bills fails, I was like, "Oh, you deliciously devilish figure." Yeah, Palpatine and Padme. I just love that whole angle in the Clone Wars. But yeah, so just my last question is: so we've finished season one of the Bad Batch, and I think season two is coming out in 2022. So we have something to look forward to next year. But I just want to get everyone's general opinion on what do you think they should try and improve in season two. What aspects should they keep in mind, when it comes to the weakest aspects of the show, and what we'd like to see more of. Do we think someone should finally die, or should we just keep the Bad Batch whole?
I think the whole Hunter and Crosshair team should continue down. Uh, like both of them hunting each other. I think that would be quite interesting. But then, of course, Crosshair eventually, hopefully, tries and like really considers, then rejoins the Bad Batch. So I would like to see that arc there, like hunting each other. Then then he reconsiders and like maybe it's best to join his brothers.
How about you, Jay?
Um, okay, to be honest, I didn't know that there was gonna be a season two when I was watching I thought it was just gonna be that's it. And yeah, that's why I think the final episode meant more to I thought one of them was gonna die because I didn't know there was another season. But yeah, yeah, if they do no, they are doing another season. But when they do
Money, money,
another
money, money.
season, what is that? No, I really just want to see like they should really expand on the soldier part, like because that's the part I like. And yeah, I just want to see like I think they can rescue not they need to explain what happened to the clones, like all the rest of them. And if like something bad's happening to them, I would actually like to see the Bad Batch maybe try and rescue their brothers. And maybe
The
like
rigs.
what Cheong, yeah, like what Cheong said, like maybe like a clone, not rebellion, but like
Rebellion.
maybe they like come together, you know, like all the clones, they're just like, all right, um the screw this empire, let's just all come together and we'll stay together. And yeah lah, because that was the main thing for me from the Clone Wars, that the brotherhood. So I hope that they continue that brotherhood thing into season 2. Yeah.
And then they'll tell us next year that all the clone troopers showed up at the end of the Rise of Skywalker. All in those ships, they were all clone troopers. Yeah, you see.
It was all
Yeah,
them. They were all just making a tiny fleet for some reason.
they all were in Y wings that could what is it, destroy a star destroyer with one bullet. But anyway, I digress with my hatred of the Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, for me, I would like. It's not really in the nature of these Star Wars animated shows. I mean, as much as I do like the Clone Wars, you have a lot of filler episodes. Be Jar Jar Binks with a bunch of plates.
Yeah.
In the Rebels, I think was far worse. As in Clone Wars, I still feel like at least every time they try to tell an arc, right? But you haven't seen Rebels, Jang. But I think I don't know what Cheong thinks of this, but there were a lot of filler episodes where like, oh, we just have to go run around a star destroyer, wee, and then
Yes,
go do some
yes. A lot. Yeah, I agree.
a lot of those. But yeah, I don't know. This the storytelling here, as with a lot of the Star Wars stuff, is strong when I feel it's very focused, right? On certain
Yeah.
arcs. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to see, just a more focused show with less filler episodes. But yeah, double down on all the stuff that makes the Clone Wars great. You know, like bring in Cat Bane, bring in Boba Fett. I think Boba Fett's gonna show up, right? What do you guys think? Yes, no,
Yeah, why
probably.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
But okay, my last question is: do you guys, just a simple yes, no? Do you guys think Omega shows up in the book of Boba Fett?
Nah, no.
Now,
Does Boba know of her existence? I mean, there's no clues yet.
not
So,
yet, no. But they are
uh,
brother and sisters, right?
yeah,
And you have
somewhat.
Fennec there to tie it all.
I would say I'm leaning towards no, but I won't discount yes as well.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I want to go with yes because I think it's the Filoni verse right now. It's he's bringing all his pieces together. But yeah, I guess that about wraps it up with everything I have. Does anyone have anything else to say about the Bad Bitch? Star Wars the Bad Bitch.
Excited for
Make
season two?
excited for season two in 2022, but I'm excited for Star Wars Visions, which I think comes out next Sunday. I think.
Oh, really?
Oh,
22nd of August, if I'm not mistaken. And then this December we have the Book of Boba Fett, and then next year we have Andor, Obi-Wan, Bad Batch season 2, and I think Mandalorian season 3. So it is a good time to be a Star Wars fan. And then in 2023, I
yeah.
think we have Rogue Squadron. So yes, Star Wars. I'll keep on watching. I'm a simp on novels. So yeah, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please give this a like. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to rate and review. Leave us a comment or find us on Instagram at What You Think Podcast. And I'd like to thank not Jang, you're always here. I'd like to thank Cheong for joining us today on this Star Wars discussion. But yes, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Um, yeah, not much. I just keep on watching Star Wars, I guess.
All right, you two are supporting the Disney Lucasfilm Empire machine. So yeah, I guess with that about does it. Thank you all for listening, and see you next time. Bye bye.